What's up, music lovers? Thanks for clicking on my channel. And hey, what's going on in the world of hard rock, progressive metal? Oh, not much, except, Dream Theater just released their first single with Mike Portnoy on drums since 2009, so figured we'd talk about that. But before we get into it, if you like hard rock, heavy metal, progressive metal, music in general, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all that YouTube stuff. Okay, let's get into it. So Dream Theater's new song is called Night Terror, and it is the lead single from their album that will be coming out sometime in February. And the first thing that I noticed about this song was that it is unapologetically 10 minutes long, which for a lead single on an album, that is just about the most Dream Theater thing I can think of. And the first minute or so of this song is pretty cool, but at first it wasn't anything that was blowing my mind. It's kind of like a more mellow version of the intro to A Nightmare to Remember. A lot of the fills seem like they're purposely quoting that song, except the guitar tone's a bit more laid back, it's a bit more subdued. And just as I start bobbing my head and I think I know what kind of song this is going to be, at about a minute and a half in, the tempo speeds up, and Mike Portnoy starts playing this drum part that, quite frankly, could have been a drum intro of this song, and the rest of the band kicks in with this insanely, almost thrashy riff that's really based off single notes and just something that's sort of quintessentially Dream Theater. And once they broke into that single note driven, super technical riff, I was hooked for this song, and I was like, oh yeah, I've missed this for a long time, and this feels really good to be listening to. And around 2.5 minutes in, you get into the verse riff, which, again, is something that is just like the most Dream Theater thing I can think of. And something I really like about it is that John Petrucci's riff is leaving a lot of space between notes, and so John Myung and Mike Portnoy get to really play around with the rhythm. And this being Dream Theater, it of course is in some super complex time signature, I don't know, probably like 23/16, something simple like that. James LaBrie sounds really good on this track, even though upon first hearing it, I kind of had the impression that he wasn't on it too much, even by the standards of a Dream Theater song. It's a very instrumental focused song, even by Dream Theater standards, although there are vocals and it does follow the verse, chorus formula, more or less. Talking about the structure of the song, I really do like how in the pre-chorus they slow down a little bit and kind of go with the musical ideas they were setting up in the intro. It gives Jordan Rudess a chance to give us some super tasty synth leads. And while this song does feel very reminiscent of albums like Black Clouds and Silver Linings or Train of Thought, it does also kind of expand on the tones that Jordan Rudess was playing around with the last few Dream Theater albums. He has this really cool organ sound that he's used for the last couple that I really like hearing. It's a bit more subtle in this song, but it popped up a few times and I was like, yeah, I like that. While first listening to the song, it didn't seem like it was the most technical Dream Theater song. I mean, it's still technical because it's Dream Theater. But then at 6 minutes and 58 seconds in, it just pulls out this "In the Presence of Enemies, in the Name of God" insane unison part where Dream Theater just reminds you that, yeah, you will never, ever be able to play like this. Deal with it. You have Jordan Rudess and John Petrucci playing this absolutely mind-boggling lead section in unison together for about 30 seconds. And what made it so mind-blowing was it kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, it's not much that sets up to it. You're grooving in one part of the song, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, oh, so we're in one of these kinds of songs now. Okay. And I guess that kind of brings me to my only minor criticism of the song, if I had to have one, and that's that it's a kind of song that has a lot of ideas coming and going, and it doesn't feel necessarily like it sets all of them up properly. But to be honest, that doesn't really bother me, because as much as I love songs like "In the Presence of Enemies" or "The Count of Tuscany" that kind of have a motif and build upon it, I'm also cool with songs that just kind of throw riffs left and right and just kind of are always keeping you on your toes. I think of a song like "Satan's Fall" by Merciful Fate, which is just this 12-minute long song with like 20 different riffs thrown in there, and it's just like, yeah, we'll start off at this tempo, then we'll go to that tempo, now there's a choir part, now we're back to thrash metal, now we're doing this idea, there's no chorus. Why? Fuck you, that's why. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but that is just something to know going in, that if you do prefer songs that kind of really do set up and build to something, you might kind of feel as though this song is a little bit all over the place. And it honestly feels like Dream Theater kind of did that intentionally, because being that this is the first song with Mike Portnoy back in the band, feels like they're kind of trying to give the fans little bits and pieces of what they've missed over the years, reference this song, reference that song, throw in a musical idea from this song, take a fill from that one, kind of mesh it all together, and I honestly appreciated it. One of my friends just texted me, because I texted him about this, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta check that out, so hell yeah. In fact, it's a friend who's a drummer, and is absolutely amazing, so. And Dream Theater just always blows my mind, not just because of their technicality, but also because of how prolific they are. I mean, they throw out so many riffs, so many grooves, so many solos, and they just keep doing it so consistently. Like every time there's a Dream Theater album, it still feels like an event, and they always just put so much work in to make sure that they're making the best music they can, and again, it's just mind-blowing. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about Dream Theater's new song and their new album. Shocker, I know, right? But enough about me. What do you think of Dream Theater's new song, Night Terror, and what are your thoughts on Dream Theater in general? What are some of your favorite Dream Theater songs or albums, and what do you think about the whole Mike Portnoy versus Mike Mangini debate? Also, I have an instrumental song called Waking Giant. You can check it out in the description below if you want. I'm no John Petrucci, but I think it turned out pretty okay. There's probably a recommendation popping up somewhere here. You know how YouTube works, and like always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video.